What's going on, guys?
What's going on? Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Today's Easter?
Today.
Oh, wow.
Easter
Happy
Sunday.
Happy Easter, yo.
Make sure you speak like right into the mic. That mic, you have to speak right into it.
Okay, like this.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
So sexy. We're going to do an ASMR episode. This is what it is.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about first?
Well, who wants to? You go ahead. You bring up the first topic.
Bring up the first topic?
Well, we should introduce ourselves.
Well, that's a good idea. Yes,
Right.
the introduction to the characters,
Start with
the
the big man.
personalities of the show.
All right. So my name is Joshua Lisoho. I am a computer scientist by trade, I guess you could say, or not by trade, by train, right? Because I went to school for that. So I'm a computer scientist. I work as a web developer, and I am 35 years old.
All right.
Beautiful.
Any fun facts about yourself you want to share?
I have a spinal cord injury. I'm on a wheelchair. I don't know. Things like that,
Okay.
I guess. I mean, that's obvious. I'm sure people watching want to know, well, what happened to him? So
We'll get to that.
I'll share. We'll share the story eventually.
I mean,
but for
Joshua,
right now, just know I have a spinal cord injury.
it's not really a fun fact, though, to be honest.
It's not a fun fact.
Fun fact.
With peace and love, it's not a fun fact.
Okay, fun fact.
What do you like? What are your hobbies?
I like a lot of things. I like cameras, and I like.
All right, me too.
That's a fun fact.
Is that a fun fact?
Making
we
movies.
had a good time.
I like
setting up.
cars.
Cars.
I wish I had a Ferrari.
Which one?
I keep changing my mind all the time. Which Ferrari I want to get.
Enzo?
But right now I like the Testarossa.
You like the Testarossa?
The Testarossa.
Is that the one you have in the
That's
portrait?
Yes, that's the one I,
I
have
like
in my
that
portrait.
one,
It's
yeah.
kind of boxy. a
That
little
was
bit.
nice. I
I
like
like
the
it.
style.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you on this side of the table?
Okay, hello, my name is Jonathan Lagomarsini, and I'm 27, and I'm basically learning the elements that I need to so that I can become an artist and make music. in the
Musician.
future.
You were practicing guitar before.
Practicing guitar.
That's
yeah.
what your
That's one thing.
goal.
Guitar, and I also play piano, and I also sing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, mainly practicing right now, but hopefully I'll get good enough soon to make some content.
I definitely think he's gonna be good enough. Just from that short film alone that we made, Revere, that we could probably have a link somewhere if we post this someday.
Oh, you would actually
That
like
was
that?
pretty good.
Wow, thank you.
That was pretty good. It was in French,
Appreciate that.
but it was pretty good. A
Thanks.
glimpse of what
we
you
had
could do.
we
you
had
know, I
fun
think.
making that.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. And I want to make another short film soon.
Yeah.
Like what?
We have to
see.
write something.
That's the problem. None
I'd
of
like
us
to do that.
write.
We need screenwriters, or we could practice. It's just
No,
hard.
I
to
think
come
I
up
would
with
be
a
good at
story,
writing. I think I could do that.
Right?
Yeah.
If we had a good idea.
But that's the point. You have to find a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
what about
difficult part,
Sebastian?
being creative.
I mean,
Well, what's
this
your
guy
fun
over
fact?
here.
Your fun fact.
Yeah, your fun
Your
fact.
fun fact.
Fun fact about myself: I do Wing Chun as well.
You do what?
I do Wing Chun.
What's that?
It's a martial art.
You do martial arts? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Do that quite
you're
often.
pretty buff too. You know, you go to the gym and stuff.
It may be because of that.
Oh, okay.
I do that 6 days per week,
Wow,
so
that's a lot.
it probably has an impact.
Wow. Okay. How did you get into that?
Wing Chun,
I've never heard of that. That's like a specific type of.
it's not well known. It focuses on efficiency of movement. Have you heard of the 1-inch punch?
Yeah.
Okay, that's basically from Wing Chun.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
using the entire chain. I don't know if the camera can get that, but using the entire chain of the body from the foot all the way up to the fist to power like your punches, basically.
I've seen that in some movies.
It's one of the concepts, like Ip Man,
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
That's Wing Chun.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's cool. It looks pleasing. The fighting style.
It's very loosely. I mean, they take a lot of liberties
Yeah.
in the movie
Yeah.
because they need to make it look cool.
Yeah.
But that's the idea. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Thanks. All right.
Nice.
Okay, your
No,
turn.
this one-
I'm Sebastian
Introduce yourself.
Patino. I like to make movies as well. But I guess we're all exploring. That's what we're doing this podcast for, to see what else we can do with creation and cameras and stuff.
Like
So-
a fugue. This is like a fugue, right?
Yeah.
now.
another outlet that we could try and see if we like and we're good at. So we'll figure that out. But
be
that's what I like
interesting,
to do.
And
I
if
like
people
cars as
like
well.
it,
People, yeah, if people like it. Yeah.
if people like us is what
If
I'm
people
saying.
like us, if we kind of suck, if we're too awkward. But I think with time, the more you do it, eventually you'll get good at something if you spend a lot of time doing it.
Of
right?
course, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this is kind of like practice, I guess.
Huh.
Right?
Yeah, I gotta practice too. My speaking, my public speaking,
Public
and
speaking.
just not saying all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I have that problem. I love to say
I used to do the same thing, and I had a presentation that we had to do a long time ago in high school, and we would practice the presentation, and every time we would say we would have to start from the beginning.
Wow.
So that we would learn not to say, and it would be
Huge.
like a 30-minute presentation, and if we got to like the 20-minute mark, and it was two of us, and we said or like
it's a huge negative
restart.
motivation.
Yeah, but that's how you learn. Don't say because when you say it's something that your brain uses to just fill in a gap of you thinking of what you're gonna say next. So naturally you say like, and it doesn't sound like good. I just said like.
Doesn't sound
it
good.
doesn't sound
What do you
good.
mean by that?
No, because you don't sound like the conversation isn't as fluent. You don't seem like you're confident about what you're talking about.
Maybe you're not.
Yeah, but I mean, that comes with like when you start talking more and more about anything, you can have conversations without being like you'll just naturally think of what you're gonna say, and it'll like flow better instead of you like what am I gonna think of, how am I gonna respond, or what I'm gonna say next.
I don't see
It
a
just
problem
makes it
with
sound-
lack of flow. Or
Yeah, I mean, it just makes it when you're trying to talk like public speaking. You'll be like, I don't know, captivated more or convinced of what's going on, or you'll feel confident in listening to this person because you're like, oh, this person knows what he's talking about, because he's not like, yeah, so like the scientist, like it's a little like instead of like a guy that's actually like, no, I know this and that, and it's more like you'll trust that person more, I think.
You would trust that person more, yes. But wouldn't it be better if the person didn't say because they actually knew what they were talking about and they had something to say and they were actually focused, instead of training to not say so it could seem like you know something?
Well, no, yeah, but that's how you start, though. That like when we knew that we were talking about, it was like a health, it was like a Rutgers camp, and we had to talk about the heart. So we knew, like, we studied that, we knew what we were gonna say. But because we're in front of people and you get nervous, that's when you start, like, not that you don't know what you're talking about because you're but it's because you're nervous. So you feel that pressure, and naturally you're like, what am I going to say next? Oh, that. Like,
I see.
It's not so much like you don't know what you're talking about, but the pressure of talking in public that makes you do that.
Yeah.
Right?
I get it. Yeah. There's definitely pressure when you speak in public.
Yeah.
And you start saying or like or
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it just doesn't sound good.
It's common. I think everybody at one point does it until they learn to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I
express
still struggle
themselves.
with that all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's just my mouth doesn't move as fast as my brain
It's your brain.
thinks, or the other way around.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be the other way around. I don't think so.
Your mouth is just.
Yeah.
Might get keep
And your brain is like, wait, hold up.
What are you saying? Have you had to speak in public, like I guess outside of church somewhere?
Outside
like
of
you feel
church, there we go. I would say that in public, outside of church, yes, in school.
In school, like a presentation, that motorcycle is
I wonder if that motorcycle's gonna get hurt in the microphone.
definitely gonna perfect timing.
So if this does get published, we are in my living room and we have the window
and he has to
cracked
rev
open.
it. Right? He's gone.
So
Someone's
we have the
having fun
window
out there.
open. So this
Wow.
might get cut out, but if it doesn't, it's because we're by a window and we have it cracked open because it's a nice day out.
Yeah.
And we want to get some fresh air in here.
Yeah, that was.
You
Perfect.
can close it. If you guys
Yeah, I think
want.
it's fine. So, you spoke in school
I spoke in school. Yes,
Like
I had
in
to do a few
college?
presentation
or
at college.
College.
College and high school too. I remember one time in high school, I was doing really bad in English class. And I mean really bad. I was really close to failing. And for extra credit, we had to memorize the Julius Caesar speech. The friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. That speech. So for extra credit, being that I didn't want to repeat English again, and I think it was sophomore English, I memorized the entire speech, and I went in front of the class, and I did. I was the only one to do it. And it brought my grade up high enough to pass.
Okay. Whoa, and how did it go?
I think it went well.
Yeah.
I almost wore a toga. I almost did it. I was going to go all out, but I decided against that. And yeah, I still remember the opening line. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I've come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. And then this and that. I don't remember.
Did you do like the gestures and walk around the room?
Yes, I did the gestures.
Like, look at people like if you were trying to convince them.
Yes.
Cool.
It's easier for me not to say when I memorize a script and I have it in my head.
I think it happens more when you're trying to come up with things from like your own thoughts.
Yes, it does happen more when you're coming up with your own thoughts.
Without having a guide, yeah.
Have you had to do some public speaking?
I did a public speaking class.
Oh.
And I did some preaching when I was a lot younger. I think that's the only thing.
I think this also would have, like, a podcast would have the same type of pressure of public speaking, right? I don't know.
If you have a lot of people watching and you think about that, it can make you self-conscious.
Yeah.
You think more about, like, what people are thinking about you than your natural expression.
Yeah, if you start looking at the cameras, you're like, oh my gosh, wait.
Yeah, I've tried not to look at the cameras. We have a nice setup going here.
We do,
yeah. Nice.
Pretty nice. I don't know about this side of the room. Over here, our backdrop ain't too nice. Like I said, we're in my living room, which is not really utilized for this. Trying to find plugs to plug everything in. Trying to find out where to put it. Yeah, it took a while. We started setting up before 12, and it's now 2:30. And we started recording at 2:15. So it took us about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Wow. We've been going for 15 minutes already?
Yes, we've been recording for 15. Oh, there we go.
Whoa.
Salud.
It feels illegal to sneeze.
Well, the current climate, right? No one wants to sneeze in public. No one wants to cough in public.
We're both vaccinated, though.
We are. Oh, you're vaccinated? How I know how did it go for you?
The second one was a doozy.
It was tough.
I felt.
How long were you doozied out?
Like a day.
A day?
I felt a lot of soreness and pain throughout my body. And I had chills during the nighttime. I had to sleep underneath my blanket because any cool air, slightly cool air, it would send chills through my whole body.
Did you have fever?
I don't know. I didn't check that. But it was painful to move, just to get up, like to get water or something, which I think I might do right now because I'm getting thirsty.
Yeah. Well, my symptoms weren't as grave as yours, I guess you could say. I had a little bit of fever. I did have a headache, which lasted 3 days. The headache, it was a long one, and I kind of felt like my body wanted to shiver. But it never actually. It was borderline. It never actually shivered. I did put on a heating pad that I have. I put it on my neck, and it helped a lot. Yeah, that helps. I also took Tylenol every 6 hours after the shot, and that helped a lot.
You got the Menorah? What is it called? Medora?
The Moderna vaccine.
Is that the one you got too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the first shot wasn't I didn't feel anything at all.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some.
Get some water.
Did you get any swelling? Where they put it?
I got sore. I didn't get swelling, but it was very sore. The first one wasn't that bad. The second one felt more sore. Maybe because I used the same arm. So getting 2 shots 4 weeks apart in the same arm.
But it was 4 weeks apart, though.
Yes,
was
4
it
weeks.
Still?
Because the Moderna is 4 weeks and the Pfizer vaccine is 3 weeks.
Okay.
And really, those were the only effects.
I think soon it's going to be available for everybody, right?
Yeah, I heard May 1st it was going to be available for everybody. Salud. So you haven't gotten it, the vaccine yet?
No,
You plan on getting it?
I don't think so.
No.
Why?
I mean, I don't think so.
Why?
It's
Yeah,
just
an
like the
anti-vaxxer.
flu vaccine. I've never gotten it either.
No.
I feel like if you're healthy enough and you know eat healthy and you work out or whatever, drink a lot of water, your body is gonna be strong enough to fight. You know.
Okay, that's possibly true, but what about if the high infection rate? What if you get it and you
I
infect
think my
somebody
body will be
around
strong
you?
enough to fight it. I might have gotten it
Yeah.
already.
Your body can fight
yeah.
it, but what if you spread it to somebody who can't fight it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think for the people that I am around, I don't think that's a problem. People I'm around either way won't get it, and the people that did get it are fine. That's why they got it.
Your parents get it?
No.
You know there's a higher
morbidity
morbidity for
Let's
people
say
who are
I'm
older, right?
around you guys. You guys got the vaccine. That's why you got it.
We're okay.
So what's the problem, right? That wouldn't be a risk
No, it wouldn't be.
if I had it.
The risk would be you around elderly people who haven't been vaccinated.
But I mean, that's not like so. If you want to be protected, get protected. I feel like I am
Yeah.
protected, so I shouldn't have to get a vaccine because somebody else did not want to get protected.
Okay. Well,
Maybe-
right now that might not be the case. But right now, some elderly people might have just not been able to get the vaccine.
Right.
So I think with time, then obviously the people who don't want to get it won't get it, and the people who wanted it already got it.
It's just like the flu vaccine. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And
It's not the same thing.
But
it's
this
the
has
It's
same
more
higher-
concept.
infectious.
the
It's more
same-
infectious and it's more deadly.
Yeah, but it's the same concept though. Vaccinations, they all work the same. And if
But
you
the stakes are higher.
yeah, but if you get the vaccine, you're protected or whatever. But it's the same thing. If you get the flu shot, you're protected from a virus. The same concept.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if I don't get it, it's the same thing. If you want to get protected, get it. I mean, you do you, man. But if I feel I'm healthy enough to fight it off on my own, that's
Yeah.
I'm not hanging out with elderly people anyway. And if for some reason I am, we still have the mask.
But what if you were to go see your grandparents and
I mean, that's
they
not.
haven't been vaccinated?
Or somebody you
they're-
infect sees
they're in
their
Colombia.
grandparents.
I'm not seeing any of them. My grandpa that I see, I don't even know if he's vaccinated or not. But I don't know. It is
What
it
if
is.
somebody you infect goes to see their grandparents and they get infected?
That's not like. Why? That's not my responsibility.
So you're selfish then, okay.
No, I mean, I don't need to put like something into my body for somebody else that hasn't.
So you're concerned about the vaccine itself, actually?
No,
You
no,
feel like
like,
they're a
like
risk or
putting
something?
like, I don't want to put something in my body that I don't think I need. Like if what were people using like years ago when they had viruses? They didn't have like vaccines and stuff. Their body would fight things off on their own, which is why you should eat healthy. You should, exercise, drink water.
Okay, that's a reasonable argument for
Right.
most viruses.
Right.
But one virus in the past, well, the pandemic before this one, you could say, was the Spanish flu.
Mm-hmm.
And vaccine technology wasn't as good, and hundreds of millions of people died.
Mm-hmm.
The stakes are different, is what I'm trying to say. It's not a good comparison because of how different it is.
Yeah, but
There
I
was
mean,
actually
again,
a
it's-
pandemic after that too. Didn't we have the
There was.
avian flu
You're right.
back
You're
in 08 or 09?
You're right. H1.
The
something like
H1N1?
that. Yeah, H1N1.
That was a flu. I don't know if that was avian flu or swine flu.
Me either.
And I think that one killed 500,000.
I don't know.
what does it count now with COVID?
In the U.S. is I think 550,000.
And worldwide.
Worldwide is in the millions.
Yeah. I mean,
So
if it becomes a mandatory thing, all right, whatever. I don't have a choice. But if it would be as like, if it was really really bad, then it would be mandatory. But why isn't it? Because you can't force
I
everybody
think they're
to
going
get
to make
if
it
it's not-
mandatory if
You
you
think
want to
so?
travel.
Oh,
It's become
that would make sense to travel. There's like the tetanus shot and stuff, other stuff like that, hepatitis. You need to get to travel. I understand that.
And that's happened too in Rutgers and in
To go to
Cornell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them. So it's becoming mandatory some places.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see how mandatory it gets. And
Yeah,
whether or not
I mean, I don't like.
Sebastian gets a shot.
Like, I'm not against like vaccines and anything like that. Like, I don't want to be like seem like I'm crazy or anything.
Anti-vaxxer.
Like, I've taken vaccines. I've taken vaccines. It's just with this, I don't think. Also, it was so fast. Like, I'm not confident yet in. I want to see what happens to people when they take it. I want to like make sure it's not.
I don't think in the short term we're gonna see any crazy effects. I think maybe after 10 years, 20 years, maybe that vaccine could cause some kind of effect that wasn't foreseen.
Mm-hmm.
But who's gonna wait 20 years?
By that time, we'll have half of the people dead.
Like at some point, if I need to take it to do something, then I will. But right now, like I'm not hanging out with a bunch of people. I'm not like it's with my family, with my friends, and like I don't think I'm putting anybody at risk. I don't expose myself to like go places, and if I do, I have my mask on. At church, we have our mask on. We try to keep distance. Stay sanitary.
That's good. At least you're not out there with your mask out on the garbage
and I try to be healthy as well. I'm not like I feel like have a strong immune system. Like I don't get sick often, but if I do, I'm not dying.
Yeah, you're not going to die. You seem like a healthy.
I mean, chances are with your age range, you have a 99.9% chance of beating COVID.
Yeah,
and if I do get it, I'm not gonna go anywhere. Also, you have to quarantine. Like
there's that asymptomatic window, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, if you want to feel protected, you wear a mask, you get the vaccine, or you stay home. I don't know, but like other people's I don't know, situations shouldn't determine what you do with your life. Like, it's like me saying you need to get the vaccine because I can get sick from you not getting it.
I understand and I agree.
Right?
It's a community effort. It's something that we should think about our neighbor about.
Yeah, but I'm not hanging out with my neighbor without a mask real close.
Yeah, neighbor is just like an interchangeable term. It just means anybody who you're close with, anybody who you're close to.
But I mean, I think you're still fine. If you get the vaccine, you're protected, right?
Yeah.
Right. So get the vaccine if you want to be protected. If you don't.
I mean, yeah, if you have the vaccine, you're protected, and you stop the spread from others by a certain percentage, I think. But there's always a chance that you can get it.
Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. It's not 100%, even if you get the vaccine.
It's 95% or so, or 94%. But I think it's 100% that you won't die.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You won't get gravely ill.
Yeah. So far, it's 100% for that. In my view, it's a community effort. It's important to think about what might happen to others. It went through all of the trials.
Yeah, it did.
Trials.
They did no shortcuts with the trials.
At this point, millions of people have gotten it, and it's not a new technology either. It's been used with
before.
mRNA has been used like with the HIV vaccine, and it has good results, and it hasn't had like adverse obvious effects either. It seems
trustworthy.
Fine. Seems fine.
Yeah, that's why I got it. I mean, I got it because I was thinking of other people too. If I want to visit my grandma, my grandpa, who I live nearby, I don't want to expose them or get them sick. I know my grandpa's waiting to get his vaccine. He wants to get the one-shot Johnson & Johnson one.
Okay.
And I've tried to get an appointment for him, but I haven't had
Isn't
any
that
luck.
one like less? Isn't it like 60-something%?
Yeah, that one has a less efficacy rate, but it's one shot.
If you're going to get a vaccine, wouldn't you want to get the higher percentage?
You might want to, although with the Johnson & Johnson one, the explanation for the lower efficacy is that it was tested majorly in parts of Africa where there were variants, and perhaps it wasn't as effective against the variants.
Mm-hmm.
But in places like around here or Europe,
Should be
where
higher.
those variants are not as widespread, the efficacy, I mean, it's not for sure, but it would be higher for the original strain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I just want, I mean, you don't have to change your mind, but I just want to be clear that I think you should get the vaccine. And I think you're wrong, and we don't have to keep talking about it.
No, yeah. I mean, I right now I'm just waiting. I want to see what happens, because I'm not confident in the vaccine, and I haven't gotten any like the flu shot. I haven't gotten the flu shot either. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but
All
I'm
right.
just gonna wait.
I can see him
So let's
eventually
see.
getting it.
I want to travel, and if I have to get out to travel, I will. It's not gonna kill me.
Yeah, you don't really seem to be like, get away from me. I don't want this
Oh,
vaccine,
no.
you know?
No, like if I have to get it, I'll get it. I don't have a problem. I just right now it's just a trust thing.
All right. So let's switch topics.
Yeah, I'm looking over here.
Also,
to see
we
if
should
there's
say
any
that we are
topic.
not medical experts.
Nope.
This is just purely our opinion.
Yeah, that's right.
What are we at time?
On time, we are.
See if we have to reset the
Yeah, we have to reset it in 1 minute.
in 1 minute.
In 1
so
minute.
like right now.
That was fast. It
So
didn't
let's
feel like half
pause.
an
No,
hour.
I did it.
That was 30 minutes. Yeah.
Let me go do that.
Okay, we're recording.
That's still 4. I guess close up that can move to the other people. Maybe.
If there's someone
Clap,
back
clap
there-
twice. Clap twice. Clap, clap. All right, that should
Cool.
sync in the beginning.
Cool.
Cool. So,
So, did you guys know today is Robert Downey Jr.'s birthday?
no.
No.
Is it really?
It is. I saw it on Twitter.
What's your favorite Robert Downey Jr. movie?
I like the Iron Man movies, but you know what? I'm gonna stick with Iron Man. I like blackface. I think it was funny, but when he was blackface, he did the.
Oh, in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, that was. I think he did a good job there.
hilarious.
That was
Yeah,
funny.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I like the Iron Man movies, but recently I was rewatching a movie called Bowfinger, and he's in that movie.
No, I didn't watch that one.
Bowfingers with Eddie Murphy. It came out, I think, in the 90s.
Wait, you're
With
talking
Steve
about?
Martin.
Oh, I saw it. He's in that movie. No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
I saw that movie.
When-
He
in the
is.
restaurant.
He doesn't have a part though.
He doesn't have a big part,
It's not-
but in the restaurant, Steve Martin is pretending to be on this important phone
I
call.
love that scene.
And
And the phone's not connected.
the phone, no, he picks up the phone and he's trying to impress Robert Downey Jr. with somebody else.
Yeah.
And he lifts it up and the phone's not connected and they're just looking at him weird. And he's pretending to be talking to this big actor. And the actor is played by Eddie Murphy. And it doesn't go well.
But it's funny. But that's not your favorite Robert Downey Jr. movie, though, right?
No, it's Iron Man.
Iron Man. What about you?
I don't have one.
Really? Do you like him as an actor? Do you think he does a good job? Yeah.
What about
Yeah,
the
I think he's
Sherlock
fine.
Holmes series?
He's
No,
fine. I like that one.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock
I never
Holmes,
watched
yeah.
that. Oops.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, speaking of
It
movies,
was good, but it's still Iron Man 1, 2, 3.
King Kong.
Avengers.
He wasn't in King
Kong.
Kong.
Yeah, but it came out like last week. King Kong.
Oh
right?
yeah, no, King Kong, Godzilla.
Exactly. It was really good.
I don't
So-
think it was good. I don't think. Joshua and I watched it.
I didn't
He
watch
hasn't
it,
watched it.
so you got to be
So we won't
careful
spoil
with your
it.
descriptions.
But I was not happy with it. I know
weren't.
that you say don't pay attention to the story because it's that type of action movie. You just want action.
Yes.
You know, just pay attention to the story. But it was missing some action, I think.
What? There was 3 big fights.
Yeah, in a 2-hour-long movie.
An hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah, and how long does it take to get to the first fight?
I'd say 30 minutes.
No, well, that's still long though.
I don't think it didn't feel long. I like the music.
for me, it
I like the
felt long.
pacing. I felt like the build up to that first fight scene was worth the wait.
I don't know, man. It's the movie's called right. Well, actually,
Was Mecha Godzilla in it?
Yes.
Wow.
I think that also kills it because it's Godzilla vs Kong, and then you have that change in story, and then the stuff that happens in it that we can't
But
say.
you do get
Is
a
he
winner.
relevant?
You get a
yeah,
winner.
you do, but like, it's so hard not to say something, but how it ends is like, come on, man. Like,
Well, you have to have a sequel. You can't.
yeah,
You can't
but
kill both characters, and
I would have preferred to have the mecha in the sequel, and have just their storyline and see what happens there.
but you kind of do get a winner between the both of them.
You do, like, you know who is. I mean, I had this conversation with Jeffrey and Abdel about who's gonna win. I always said that about that one.
Well, you can't kill Godzilla.
You can't.
You can't
I
kill
always
him.
said he's superior. There's
You
no
can't
way.
kill
How
him?
are you gonna like compare the two? This guy's a
Godzilla.
monkey, and then Godzilla is like, he has nuclear capabilities.
What's the size comparison between the two?
In the movie, it's a pretty good. Godzilla's a little taller, but it's pretty
Oh.
similar.
And what are the capabilities of Godzilla?
He has nuclear
He shoots
energy.
a freaking nuclear bray at
That's
you.
what I was saying. I didn't see the movie. I was talking about it as well with a friend. And how could you beat that?
Yeah, it's,
You can't. That's why in the movie King Kong, there's a detour in the movie where he has to get his weapon.
yes, his weapon, and even after, get some energy and
Which I got confused by that detour in the movie a little bit.
yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere, that whole concept, I think.
But it was visually very pleasing.
It was. The way it was shot, even though it was all CGI, I think, but the city shots and the zooming, making it seem like it was from an actual helicopter in a news type of thing. It was
Okay.
really
the
good.
way it was shot. And at a distance, kind of like using a telephoto lens and seeing Kong with the buildings, it looked really cool.
And the coloring was really good.
Yeah.
I really liked it when they were fighting in the city. You had all the lights.
That
looked really
fight
nice.
scene was nice. The story sucked for me.
And no human fatalities, right? They
Well,
they destroyed the entire
What?
city, and I don't
They
think any humans
evacuated?
died.
no, I think the first Godzilla attack, there was death there.
But you don't see them on the screen.
Well, no, they don't show human death.
But buildings are destroyed, right?
Yeah, so it's assumed it's
Yeah, lots of crushed people. there.
yeah.
It was kind of unbelievable though when Godzilla makes his appearance, and with his spine he just cuts a battleship in half.
That's in the trailer, so we can say that it's in
Yeah.
the trailer.
Alright.
He just swims through a boat.
He
Not
swims
a
through
boat,
it.
like a battleship, a military huge.
Yeah, one of those the air for the
Well, that's in the
jets,
movie too.
right?
It's a little different what happens to that one, but
Oh, okay.
but they meet the same fate.
aircraft carriers. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah. What do you think about the Justice League? Did you guys see that one?
I watched the
I haven't
4 hour
watched it.
long. You haven't watched it?
I
Have you
haven't
watched it?
I saw most of it.
Most of it. Okay, I saw off the whole thing in a sitting and a half, 2 sittings,
Oh, okay.
and
It's long.
It's long. You gotta take it. The thing is, it didn't feel like it was taking forever. It was a good story. Like, it contrasts completely against this Godzilla King Kong thing. The story is a good story. Even though I watched the first one that came out, the story is still it's kind of different, and you have more in depth to each character, and it develops better. It's not rushed. But it's not slow either. Even though it's 4 hours, I don't think it's slow. You think? I mean, you've watched what, majority of it?
I watched most of it, and I think maybe because of the length, even the action scenes, I started just to filter them out. Like, okay, they're just fighting now, whatever. Wait
Do
until this is
you like the
over.
story, or no? You feel drawn out?
The story seemed pretty shallow to me.
Really?
And in some points, they didn't make sense to me. Like, for example, when they're going to wait a minute, Joshua, you didn't see it?
I haven't seen it. No.
Oh,
I mean, but is it I guess it is a spoiler, even though you watched the first one.
I did see the first Justice League.
oh, so you know that they try to bring Superman back?
Superman back, yeah, they did it in the first.
Okay, so Batman is thinking, if we don't bring Superman back, there's no chance that we're going to do this. It's all over.
Right.
So they bring Superman back, and he doesn't want to help them, but then somehow Batman gets more hope, and he decides that he doesn't need Superman, and they're just gonna try it on their own.
But I think that's because they have no other choice. like, okay, we can't have Superman. We still have to try. Like, we are the superheroes. We're defenders of Earth. We might get our ass whooped, but who knows what happens.
You're right.
You have to fight. They're fighters, and they're going to die trying. Even though they might know, there's always that little chance of hope, you know?
Yeah, there's always that underdog story, right?
Yeah. But Superman comes back.
Yeah, he does.
You know, you can't without Superman.
Yeah.
But it leaves a good sequel. Like, it sets up a good sequel with Darkseid
At the end.
because he shows up in the movie. They showed in the trailer, obviously everybody knows he's going to be in the movie somehow. But what I've seen now, question is, are they going to go with Zack Snyder's idea of how the movie should continue, or are they just going to do their own thing?
Oh, I see.
Because a lot of people like, I would say most people like this version better of the Justice League story than the previous one.
I heard that as well.
Yeah, I think if they continue, they're going to use the Zack Snyder version.
I think they have to, right?
They don't have a choice.
They make movies for people, and if people like this version better, you should give them that.
But I don't think they're going to make another 4-hour movie.
No.
I think they have to limit it at
thing.
3 hours max.
It was
2.5, I would say.
It was a good movie. I think.
Or they release a series on HBO Max.
Maybe. When you should watch it.
I am. It's in my plans. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. When you mentioned the airplane carrier when we were talking about Kong, I remembered about Top Gun, the new movie that's gonna come out. Have you seen the trailers for that?
I think I saw it once.
Have you watched the original? Tom Cruise?
I saw the original.
It was all right, but I'm really excited about that one because of the way it looks and the way it was shot. With cinema cameras inside of an actual plane that he's actually flying is insane.
They're doing that for the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they showed in the trailer. I saw some behind the scenes. They have like, I think it was 3 cinema cameras inside of the cockpit of the jet, and Tom Cruise is actually taking off and flying it, and you can see his body taking in the G's. It looks so cool.
That guy, he's wild.
He is, dude.
He loves doing his own stunts. Yeah, he has such a big ego.
Oh man,
you can't have a stunt double. He's too good for that.
I'm really excited for that movie though.
So switching topics a little bit, are you guys gonna watch the Oscars?
Probably.
Nah.
Are you guys gonna watch any movies nominated by the Oscars?
Maybe.
I'm gonna try.
Well, I'm gonna read the list here of Best Picture nominees. Tell me if you've seen it or if you plan on watching it.
All right, let's have a look.
For Best Picture, you're looking, right?
Yes.
Would be good if we could put the trailer like on the screen and watch it and comment on it.
Like a what is it called? A react?
Like a react, yeah, that's right.
I mean, I could airplay to the TV.
Well, for the viewer to be able to see it as well.
And then we could edit the trailer into the video.
Oh, yeah. You can sync it, right?
Yes.
Well, what if we pause a lot to make commentary?
I think that should be a different video.
Yeah, that should be. We'll do a different video maybe. Let's just go through the list and see if we've heard of the movie. Because there's a lot of movies here I don't think I've heard of.
All right.
So the Best Picture nominees for the 2021 Oscars are The Father.
I haven't. I
haven't heard of it. Have you heard of it?
Nothing.
Never heard of it.
I've never heard of the actors. I've never heard of this movie at all.
The Father.
I'm going to look it up, though.
What'd you say? The Father?
The Father.
Yeah. I haven't. I want to watch all these movies, but I haven't heard of it.
I also want to do it. I usually try to watch all the Best Picture movies. It's April 25th.
Oh,
so maybe
this month.
if we could do another podcast, try to watch a few of them
before the podcast,
and then give our talk. We don't have
the
to
movies.
Watch all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
what do you think?
I like that.
Okay, the next one is Judas and the Black Messiah.
That title sounds very intriguing.
Yeah.
That's probably the first one
I've heard of that one. It's on HBO Max.
Judas and the Black Messiah. It's on HBO Max?
Yes.
I gotta watch it. I'll watch it
I
today.
would like to watch it.
Yep. Mank.
I've seen that on... I didn't see it.
I
saw it on Netflix, though, but I didn't see the actual
It's a Netflix movie?
Yeah.
What's
Mank.
that about?
I don't know. I know it's in black and white, though.
What do you guys think about that? The Oscars actually nominating Netflix movies.
I mean,
versus
they make great movies.
feature films.
It's a movie.
Yeah, and it's a feature film length.
But there's some directors that are against that. They say Netflix is not worthy of being
Why not?
Oscar nominee because it wasn't in the movies.
I mean,
It's coming
COVID.
straight to your house.
COVID, baby.
it's a movie. Yeah, it's the new way of watching movies.
Do you think a YouTube video would ever get nominated for a Best Picture?
I don't think it would
Um,
ever, but I don't see a problem with it. Just that
There's a lot of short films on YouTube, and those have won like short film awards and stuff.
in festivals,
what about
though, right?
like
Festivals, film festivals.
a average person, raising enough money, making a film, posting it on YouTube, and actually getting it nominated for a Best Picture?
I don't know if there's a video out there and it meets the criteria and it checks all the boxes of what one of these movies does. I don't see why not, right? If they have the cameras that meet the specs, they have producers, actors, like big budget, and it looks great as actual movie, feature film length.
I don't see why it shouldn't, but I do see why not.
I wouldn't say
Probably
big
because-
budget. I would say low budget.
I don't see it
It's
happening.
still competing.
Movie guilds, they're just going to be like, no, we don't want to accept them. We
Yeah.
don't want to have them in the.
I think it's also because of the like prestigiousness of the Oscars.
Pretentiousness,
Yeah,
more like,
and of
right?
like what in theaters, a Hollywood movie, a big budget. I don't see ever a YouTube video being nominated for something like that, unless there's like a new category in the Oscars for web film or something like that.
Maybe that way.
That could
yeah.
I see that happening more than having a YouTube video be a Best Picture.
Just being head to head with one of those Hollywood films. Right?
I don't.
You don't.
I
see
mean,
that.
I don't see. If you have that much money to produce a movie like that, you're not going to put it on YouTube.
Although some dramas probably don't need a big budget, just need good acting,
Actors.
lighting, a good story, and they get nominated often. So
Okay.
I
Well,
think
the next one is Minari.
Minari.
Never heard of it.
Me
they.
neither.
Yeah, me either.
Minari or Minari. I'm not sure. Okay, next one is Nomadland.
But can we get a synopsis or something?
Nomad Land.
Right? Somebody look up a synopsis.
Yeah.
Can we go back to the earlier one? That one sounded interesting.
The Black Messiah. Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh man, that one sounds
That one
interesting
sounds
too.
interesting.
Yeah.
Nomad.
Let's see. Where is the? Here, I have Nomadland here.
Okay.
After losing everything in the Great Recession, a woman embarks on a journey through the American West, living as a van-dwelling modern-day nomad. Oh, is this the one where... Oh, yeah, what's her name? She's in 3 Billboards.
Frances McDormand.
Yeah, she's in that movie. She's a good actress. Have you seen that?
Frances McDormand.
I saw 3 Billboards. It was good.
I started watching and I got bored. But she
thought it
acted
was good.
well from what I saw. So that might be that might be another boring movie though. At least for me, maybe.
A drama, you mean?
All right, the next
Drama.
movie on the list is Promising Young Woman. Promising Young Woman.
I haven't heard of that either.
I've seen the commercials for it.
Really?
Yeah. I just don't know where it's on. Is it Netflix? HBO Max? I'm not sure.
This was released initially in the Netherlands, it says.
Promising Young Woman?
And it was a screenplay.
Nothing in Cassie's life is what it appears to be. She's wickedly smart, tantalizingly cunning, and she's living a secret double life by night. Whoa. Now an unexpected encounter is about to give Cassie a chance to right the wrongs from the past.
Okay, so it's kind of like a story of like redemption, maybe. Like maybe it's like one of those typical stories.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to look at that Judas one.
Yeah.
Okay, look up the synopsis for it.
It was released. It says 2021.
Yeah, so it was released earlier this year.
Wouldn't that make it though for the Oscars of
Right?
next year? Because Oscars this year should be based on 2020 movies, right? That's what I
I don't know
Thought.
how that works.
Let's see. Bill O'Neill infiltrates the Black Panther Party per FBI agent Mitchell and J. Edgar Hoover. As party chairman, Fred Hampton ascends, failing for a fellow revolutionary en route. A battle wages for O'Neill's soul. What is this going on about?
Okay, so it sounds like it has to do with.
Think this is a true story?
Could be. Uses the Black Panthers. They were real.
Yeah, it's a biography. Categories are biography, drama, and history. Someone else? Does it tell me anything else? I don't recognize any of these. Actually, Daniel Kalu. What's his name? Oh no. No, I don't know.
Lakeith Stanfield. Kind of looks like a black Robert Downey Jr.
Wait, who?
Lakeith Stanfield, if you look him up.
Oh, I see him. He has like a hat on in this picture.
Oh.
Alright. Should be interesting. I think movies that are based off like true stories are usually good.
Yeah, those are usually good.
Yeah. What else is on that list?
Sound of Metal.
Sound of Metal. Is this like a music based
Sound of Metal.
This one says 2019.
The Oscars are all over the place
What?
this year.
Yeah. it's
COVID has everything upside down.
all- maybe that's it.
A heavy metal drummer's life is thrown into free fall when he begins to lose his hearing. That sounds interesting.
That's sad.
Yeah, that one. That one
sounds like a good
interests me.
movie.
I think that one I'm gonna put on my list to watch first.
Sound of Metal. Wow, that might be a hard movie to watch.
Yeah.
And the last one is The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Is that also maybe a real story?
That sounds like a real story. I think that's Netflix.
Yeah, it is Netflix. It's a drama. All of them are dramas, I think.
Yeah, usually
The
best pictures are
The
dramas.
film is based on the infamous 1969 trial of the 7 defendants charged by the federal government with conspiracy and more arising from the countercultural protests in Chicago at the 1968 Democratic National Convention. The trial transfixed the nation and sparked a conversation about mayhem intended to undermine the U.S. government.
Boring.
I don't know. I think that Sound of Metal is the one that stands out to me.
Oh,
After
it's
reading the-
captivating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
me
story
too.
is captivating.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, what about Mank? We didn't look up Mank. That's on Netflix as well.
Just the idea that someone is so passionate about something and it's such an integral part of their life, and then they lose that,
the
and they have
capability
to
of-
adjust. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beethoven, he went deaf, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's
he
true.
did.
And he still wrote music.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. Mank. The only one in the list that's black and white. It's got 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. 1930s Hollywood is reevaluated through the eyes of scathing wit and alcoholic screenwriter Herman J. Mankiewicz as he races to finish Citizen Kane. I think there's also a real movie about the director that made Citizen Kane and how he made it and how Hollywood was at that time.
I like that one.
That might be a good movie too.
But do you like when they take modern movies and they make them black and white?
I don't mind.
I've never watched a black and white movie.
You never
Schindler's
watched
List.
Roma?
I never watched Roma.
What about
watched
Schindler's
Roma.
Was
List?
it good? Schindler's List? I didn't watch that either.
Roma.
I know
Was
people
Roma
in high
good?
school watched that, I think.
That's very debatable.
What?
Roma.
If it's good or
If
not?
it's good or not.
You watched it?
I watched it.
What'd you think?
I thought it was boring.
I never saw it.
Isn't it long too? And they
It's they use, you know what is a little bit fascinating about that movie is that they use these very, very long drawn out shots. So they won't cut a shot until maybe 5 minutes, 6
Wow.
minutes.
I usually
I like
like
that.
one like 1917. That was beautiful. Did you watch it?
No, that was black and white.
No. It's not black and white, but the way they shot it made it seem like it was one take. So the shots are like hidden. But they do actually have long scenes that, you know, it's really, you should watch it.
I like that
I like that
idea.
movie.
Yeah. They did that in Birdman,
Birdman.
as well.
Yeah. And some Daredevil episodes too.
What about Clerks? You guys seen Clerks?
Mm.
That was a black and white movie. It's like a cult classic.
No, I didn't watch it.
Silent Bob.
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
That one was interesting. That was nice. It was black and white.
Okay. I didn't watch that, but we gotta watch those.
I really like the color. I don't like too much the black and white, but I've watched a few of them. But I don't get, if you're gonna do a modern movie, just do it in color.
It feels different.
It does.
Right.
Sometimes it fails, right?
Yeah, it could fail. Yeah.
It's like black. It's like pictures. When I've never edited a photo to make it black and white, I feel like it just looks better in color. Like I feel like every version of a picture that's in black and white. I mean, I guess there might be some.
I've done it when you want to
where-
focus, I think, on the shapes
like silhouettes.
and the shadows.
Yeah, like a silhouette.
Yeah.
Also, what emotions are trying to be evoked in the picture or the film?
All right, what else? Where are we going from here?
Okay. One of you guys bring up a topic.
All right, I'm going on Reddit.
Reddit.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Reddit. I've never used Reddit. Have you used Reddit?
Yes.
Really?
Wall Street Bets.
What'd you say?
Wall Street Bets.
What is that?
Remember a few
It's a
weeks
subreddit,
ago?
probably.
It's a subreddit.
Oh, where they bet invest in this, invest
They
in
best
that.
on GameStop.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
GameStop
yeah.
stock went all the way up.
I feel like so many people now are investing just because Reddit made it more popular.
Yes, I think that's true.
Reddit is awesome.
I tried on Robinhood a long time ago, and I still have some stuff, but I use Charles Schwab now.
I use E-Trade.
Sounds fancy.
E-Trade? What do you use?
I don't use anything.
You don't use anything?
But when I did trade, I used Thinkorswim, which is from TD
Thinkorswim.
Ameritrade.
I learned there. They have like you can play with fake money.
Yeah, they have the paper trading.
Yeah, paper trading. That's what it's called. Yeah. Who's making millions?
I did day trading for a time for like 2 years.
Was it all right? Kind of?
It was okay, but I couldn't get it right,
No.
so I stopped.
It takes time. Sometimes you just gotta get lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also use Coinbase
Coinbase.
to buy Bitcoin.
You got Bitcoin?
I bought and then I sold.
Oh man. You gotta have diamond hands, man. Hold on to it.
Have you guys heard about the what's it called, UTFs or something like that?
NFTs maybe?
NFTs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Non-fungible tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, how is that a thing?
That's a ripoff. I don't get it.
I'm gonna draw something, put it on the internet, and be like, "This is one of one. I'm selling for $1 million." Dude, how? I don't understand.
You can easily make a copy of.
But it's getting big now. Logan Paul, I think he said $3 million off like some NFTs that he made, or
Yeah, I think so,
himself.
yes.
That's insane.
There was another artist who made a compilation of all of his digital pieces of art, and it sold for like 66 million.
Oh,
something like
I think it's with a B or something. Breeb. Oh, man.
$66 million for something that you could just copy.
But I think that guy was making art for like 13 years before he made money like that. That's like something that you're passionate about and you keep doing it.
Yeah.
Like if you like something, keep doing it. Eventually, it's gonna pay off. And for this guy, it took a while. But $66 million on a sale, I think that's a pretty good payoff for 13 years.
Yeah,
that's
that's
very
amazing.
good. People don't make that in a
Beeple.
lifetime.
It's Beeple.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And
Dude.
the sale price was 69.3 million.
Wow, that's crazy. You think he's gonna stop making art now?
Nah.
He's
He's
gonna
an
keep going
artist.
until he dies,
That's
right?
what he loves. I don't know if until he dies, but he probably
Well,
still feels
yeah.
passionate about it.
I think to hold off for 13 years, you're definitely gonna want to do that forever.
I mean, do you see
Yeah.
yourself doing something for the rest of your life already? Or you, Joshua?
Yeah. This podcast.
On day one,
On day
wow.
one. We'll see
You're
what happens
infatuated.
a couple months from now.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see by summertime. We're probably tired of it. If we even continue. We'll see.
I
We'll see.
think you just gotta.
We'll see.
It's definitely gonna be uphill because we're just starting.
What makes somebody continue to do something is that they see progress.
So you think we're gonna do this podcast forever?
Probably not. We could drop episodes. We could have series or seasons in a way.
I'm thinking you just maybe pick another Sunday and record multiple, and then that way not have to meet
That's true.
every couple of weeks.
We could in one day record maybe 2.
Because
It's gonna make a grueling process.
To record 2 in one day.
It's not gratifying to do too much at once.
yeah, but
Yeah,
two
that's
is
true.
not 2 is not that. I mean,
If
I
they're
feel like
30
I could keep
minutes,
talking for
I mean,
another
if we could take what we recorded today, right, and make
Yeah.
it 2.
Well, I don't
Well,
think we
no.
should edit
just
unless you absolutely have to. Don't cut anything out.
no.
Really?
It's cutting from camera to camera.
Yeah, you have to cut
That's
from camera to
what we
camera.
have to do. Not
Because
cutting
when
the
you're
audio.
speaking,
Alright.
but it's gonna just roll.
Yeah.
The audio.
Yeah, it's just gonna keep going.
Okay, but as little as we need to take out, don't take out.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I don't think we said anything controversial
or that we
racial
need to take out
that we need to take out.
Even then, I feel like you should just leave it.
more views. Controversy is good sometimes, you know.
Controversy.
It's
is
not good to have a podcast and everybody has the same views, because then what's gonna make people want to watch? Like, you need people to have different opinions. That starts a conversation and keeps it going.
Yeah.
You're very far
You're
from
not
the mic.
talking into the mic.
We're doing the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that
they're all recording.
I thought we were taking a break. Holy
He probably wasn't even in the shot.
shit. I thought we were.
This is still good. You could leave that in there. It's
Right?
taking a
Yeah,
small
no
break.
cutting.
It's still
Speaking
good.
of no cutting,
Okay.
cutting.
Yeah, that's good.
which
That
is what
was
you said, no cutting. That's
part
a
of
good
what makes it
example.
more interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got to think of what's going to be our outro. Our first outro.
We don't
for
even
the
have a
first
name for the podcast or
Or an
anything.
outro. No, we don't. So maybe we decide a name and wrap it up.
Wrap it up. So
Wrap it up.
what name?
Put a
Wrap it
bow
up.
on
Is that the
top.
name? Wrap it up. We're always
No.
thinking of wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Nobody wants to watch.
In my mind, the one that came to me was Myrtle Street Podcast.
Myrtle Street. And
Sounds
why?
wholesome to me.
Because it's where we are,
Mhm.
and it sounds pretty decent.
Myrtle Street Podcast, or just Myrtle Street.
Sounds like a small town podcast.
Myrtle
Even though I
Street.
think, there we go.
Let's call it the
He's back.
Chopper Gran Turismo.
Perth Amboy Choppers.
Yeah.
The Harleys.
Or let me see, we could use our initials.
I don't think that's gonna work because they're all consonants.
Josh, Sebastian, Jonathan.
How do you say it?
Consonants.
Consonantes.
Consonants.
Yeah, the JJS podcast.
Jizz.
SJJ, JSJ,
Just make it Myrtle.
Myrtle.
Well, what did you guys think about this first podcast? Like, how do you feel about our?
I think it was alright for a first time.
conversation?
Yeah, I think
We
for the
didn't have-
first time it was alright.
We didn't have trouble talking
Mm-mm.
or keeping the conversation going. I don't think.
Yeah.
Which was good. We didn't have any air gaps.
No.
No.
So we don't have to cut. We don't have to cut like a big gap of non-talking out.
Mm-hmm. So we're sticking with Myrtle. Myrtle Street. I don't know. We
There's
can
a YouTube channel called Mango Street.
Mango Street.
Yes.
We could just keep it Myrtle Street. I don't know. We
It's
can
really similar.
we'll figure it out. We'll
It's really
sleep on it.
similar.
I don't know.
We could call it the...
This is Dead Space.
Yeah, this is Dead Space.
That
We just don't have anything to... Because you know what it is? We're thinking. We're trying to think of a name, and we can't think and talk at the same
Yeah,
time.
I don't think usually you
Okay.
think of a name on
your
a po-
podcast.
your podcast.
You have it already.
No, people like that. I think people would like that.
Figuring out
Figuring out
Yeah.
how we
Figure
got
out
our name.
what the name is.
It's human.
We probably won't even find a name now, but we'll just keep it no name for now.
The No Name Podcast.
The three mics.
The 3 mics.
Well, no, we have
For
to
now,
have guests
yeah,
at some
all
point.
right.
But what if we add a 4th mic?
Oh well, then well,
We have a special guest.
I don't know. Well, you know what we can call it? We can call it Dead Air,
Dead air.
and then strive to not have any of it in the podcast.
That's a good name. I like it.
I like the name Dead Air.
Dead Air.
That Air podcast.
The Dead Air Podcast.
Let's do it. Let's do Dead Air.
Okay. I say
right.
yes.
So that's a yes. We're doing it.
Yes, Dead Air. Welcome to the Dead Air Podcast.
Well, no, thank you for watching the
Thank
Dead
you.
Air
Thank you
podcast.
for watching the Dead Air Podcast.
Have a nice week, guys.
We'd like to thank our sponsors and everybody who was involved. Thank you for
Which is nobody.
all the companies that collaborated with us. Yeah, no, we have companies that collaborated with us.
Like-
we have the makers of these cameras.
Right.
We have the makers of these microphones, of this laptop. So we collaborated with multiple companies on this podcast.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
I mean,
our
they just
sponsor
don't know
was Choppers. Yeah.
Choppers, Harley Davidson.
Davidson. Yeah.
Ooh.
All right.
Have a nice week, guys. Peace out.
Peace
Take
out.
care
Thank you
until
for
the
watching.
next one.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Are we gonna post this?
Until the next one. God bless. Cut.